Remember Devin, the first AI engineer who just broke the internet and showcased the ability of AI in the field of programming, how powerful it could be. But we took Devin totally wrong. We thought that Devin is here to replace us. Devin can take the job of all the programmers in the world. But you know what? This is not the case. This is totally wrong. Why I'm saying this? Because I'm trying Devin for last 7 days and this is really powerful. Powerful in terms of productivity booster, helping you in the programming, and obviously not at all going to replace us. So think about Devin as a junior developer in your team who can work tirelessly without any interruption for hours. Even it can work parallelly on different tasks. Isn't it incredible? So this video is basically divided into 3 parts. In the part 1, we're going to discuss about the Devin Ask, the DeepWiki, and how you can get started with Devin. In the part 2 of this video, we will going to see how you can really work on a production grade application to create an awesome feature. It's not about vibe coding or prototyping a project kind of MVP, no. It's going to be a full-fledged feature which Devin is going to create for us, and finally it's going to create a pull request which we can finally merge into our main branch to have that feature working. In the last and third part of this video, we're going to discuss about whether you really need Devin or not, what are the limitations of Devin, and the comparison of Devin with other AI tools like Cursor or GitHub Copilot. So without wasting time, let's get started. The very first thing we need to do is visit Devin.ai, the landing page of Devin. Here you can explore the possibilities of Devin. But to get started, you need to click on Get Started button, and first of all, you need to complete the registration, fill out the credit card and subscribe to its plan. We're going to discuss about the plan. Is it good, bad, too high or too low? Everything we're going to talk about. But once you have registered and ready to get started, you land on this kind of website which is called app.devin.ai. Okay, first time when you see this, it's really overwhelming. So let's break it down and understand the UI. First of all, on the left side, you will see there is 3 sections, or I can say 3 icons. One is Devin session, where all the agent mode, the coding happens. Second, we have Ask Devin. Here, we can ask anything related to any repository or basically a project. Then we have DeepWiki. Now, what is DeepWiki and how this is powerful? I'm going to show you very soon. But first of all, what we need to do, we need to set up our Devin. And the very first thing in the setup part is the integrations. So if you go at the bottom left, you will find this gear icon which says setting. If you click there, then we have a lot of amazing things we can set for the Devin. But the important thing we need to visit is the integration section. So if you see inside the organization setting, we have the integration. Now on this integration, I will go and start with the GitHub, which is most important thing. So I will go and click on connect. This is going to complete the GitHub app authorization flow. Once we are done with that, then we will be ready to have the Devin working on our website. Okay, so I'm going to install. For now, I'm providing all the repository access and we will going to see how Devin can help us. Okay, so once you have the connection with the GitHub, now you can go to the Devin setting, and in the repositories, you will find all the repositories you have. And I'm going to search for the specific repository. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to index this repository. Why this is important and what is the benefit of this? You will going to get very soon. So first of all, let's say index repo. This is going to have all the information of this repositories into the Devin, and this is the place where the DeepWiki works. We're going to get into the DeepWiki very soon, but let's go and add to machine. This is actually going to set up this repository to work on a virtual machine. So whenever Devin start working on this repository, it know how this project is going to set up, what are the initial command to run, and how it's actually going to work in the virtual machine. So think about this setting as you have the repositories and you want to set the repository or the project in your local machine. Similar to that, we are setting the repositories in a virtual machine of Devin. But remember, we have this section, Devin's machine. On the Devin machine, you can configure different repositories. Previously, I have tried different repositories, but now I want to add another one, which is sarthaksavvy.com. And if I click on start, now I'm starting to set up this repository. And first thing what it is doing is it's cloning the repository. This is exactly what we do when we have a fresh laptop and we want to set up the repository. Just clone the repository and then get started. Here, what Devin is doing, since Devin uses a virtual machine for every different project, it first created the project and then we have different command to set up the repository. First of all, it's a repository which is going to git pull. And if I click on verify command, this is going to actually run the same command we do, but on the virtual machine. And the power of Devin is, if you see on the right side, we have the terminal, and this terminal is really working. That means we can interact. It's an interactive one. We can just say ls to see all the repositories files here. This is so powerful. Yep, that's good. And once done, you can see it's cloned. So we can go to the next step. We can configure some secrets if we want. Right now, this project doesn't have any secret, so I can simply skip this. Next is dependency installation. Now, we need to define here that, hey, this is using npm install. But why can't just Devin automatically get that? It can get that, but you need to define so that it will be really perfect setup. You can just go here and maintain dependencies. You can just say, hey, I just need npm install. But if you don't want, it's going to do on its own. So I'm going to skip that too. And I don't want any linting. You can set up everything you want. Right now, no setup. And local app is npm run dev. So again, this time I'm going to skip it. And I'm totally relying on the Devin and see how this is going to work. So if I click on finish, it will going to finish the setup. But wait, something is here. Setup agent. Hey, I'm here to help you to set up this repo. I can execute command, guide you through the setup process. So let's see what I need to do to set up this repo. And I'm sending this, and this is going to help me to set up the project on the virtual machine of Devin. Okay, so see, we have skipped one thing, which is installing the dependency. But now it says you need to run this command because it didn't found the node module. So click on run, and now on the right side, we can actually see running the npm install. This is incredible. Okay, so that's done, and now it is checking that whatever it said is working. So we can now update the setup. So if I do the update, you can see it actually updated the fourth one, maintaining dependency or installing dependency, both of one. Now it says npm lint is also there. Do you want to run it? Okay, let's try to run it. And now it's asking for which type of linting you want. This is an interactive terminal, so I can actually go and take over this, hit enter. Okay, now this is doing the linting, setting up, installing, whatever it want to do. But this is really helpful. I just skipped some of the thing, but now this is saying, hey, you can do that. So cool is that. Now it's finishing up and finally says update setup, and I want to just skip this. I'm skipping the testing. I'm also skipping this npm run dev. No, it's needed the npm run dev for the development purpose. So as I told you, this is exactly similar how we set up the project in our local machine. So In our local machine, we say npm run dev, and this is same thing Devin is going to do in its local machine, which is actually the virtual machine of it. Okay, finally, npm run build is also there to see the final build one. Okay, that's good, that's good. And we have done that. The local setup is completed. And finally, it says you have done everything perfectly fine. Finally, check for the Git status. And finally, you can see it says everything is done. Your repository is done. And now click on finish. You can see now we have finish button. We finish it. And finally, the repository setup is done. Now, why this is really important? Once the repository is set up, you don't have to do anything at all from the next time. Devin know how it is working, and if in the future it installs some dependency or change any code, it actually going to sync up on the virtual machine and keep that changes here. And this is why Devin is powerful. So let's click on complete to complete this repository setup, and boom, we are ready to see the magic of Devin. The very first thing we can start is the DeepWiki. And DeepWiki is a go-to place to understand the code base, and it's free for the open source repositories. And whatever you index repositories, like private repository of yours, that will be available on this left side. So if I go on the DeepWiki, click here, and now I have the repositories which I have indexed for myself, since these are the private repository only available for me. I can click on the repository, and now I can see every information about this repository. It's not just having the text, it's also having the structural flow diagram. You can see how powerful it is, how the application move from one file to another file in a proper manner. This seems like a documentation created by the senior developer for your project. And since you are a junior developer or newbie to this project, you can simply visit the DeepWiki and check out all the information you needed. Think about DeepWiki as the Wikipedia, but especially for your repositories. But what fascinating about this DeepWiki is you can actually go and have chat with this repository data. Here, if you go and see Ask Devin about sarthaksavi.com, so I can ask like on which page the LinkedIn um, information is available. Now I just go here, ask the question, and now Devin is going to see in the DeepWiki, get the answer by scanning all the possible code base, and then it will provide you the real information. The answer, LinkedIn information appear on the landing page of this like page.js, and display clickable icon alongside this. You can also have a bouquet call on the page.js. But the real power of DeepWiki comes when you move to the open source project. So let's say we have a project called Python UV. This is really incredible library to get into the dependency management super fast, and I really like it. So let's go to the github.com, and if you want to see the DeepWiki of any open source website, what you need to do, just change the github.com to deepwiki.com, and we are here on this page where you can ask follow-up question, have a deep research over your code base, and check for different section of how thing works under the hood for this project. But with all of these amazing things, DeepWiki still has some limitations. The biggest limitation which I see is DeepWiki doesn't actually index the GitHub issues or the pull request. That means we are missing out the deep discussion and the problems we can have on this particular project. If they can complete this part, DeepWiki will be no match. Second limitation is if the code base is really huge, it's actually get confused when you ask something on the DeepWiki. Maybe this can be fixed in the coming future, but for now, this is again a big limitation. And obviously, for private repositories, you need to pay Devin to index it. As we just saw, we have indexed my private repository. The real power of DeepWiki comes on the ask part. This chat box is really powerful. And remember, we have already checked this on our private repositories. And here we landed to this page. This is the DeepWiki. When we ask question, it moved to this page. And this is actually app.devin.ai/search, which is actually called the Ask Devin. So this Ask Devin is the part of the DeepWiki, which is allowing you to have full conversation with your code base. Just like I asked on which page the LinkedIn information is available. But we can ask more technical question. Something like, does this website have server-side rendering? We can have it. We can actually provide all the context if you want. But the important thing is you can select the repository and you can select multiple repositories at the same time. You can have a comparison, like if you have a front end and a back end, and maybe you have a mobile app, then you can combine all three repositories and ask Devin like, hey, what if I hit the API from the mobile application and it goes to the back end and it goes to the front end, something like that. You have real great power in your hand about the code base you have for your project. Okay, let's see the answer for this question. We have the answer and it says, yes, this website has server-side rendering on layout.js and with more information about the project and the server-side rendering thing. You can actually have the follow-up question here. You can ask Devin by having any attachment. So maybe let's say you have a screenshot of the UI, you provide the screenshot and then ask, hey, Devin, where is this code, the UI code? So great, that's powerful thing. If you go on the left side, you can start with a new search. We have a new text box where we have the history of whatever we have asked, and that's called the Ask Devin and the DeepWiki. Moving to the part 2 of this video, where I'm going to show you exactly the power of Devin on building a real application feature. It's not about vibe coding, it's not about something from scratch. It's saying like, if we have an existing amazing project and we want to add something, let's consider Devin as a junior developer and assign the task to this Devin, the AI engineer, and then let's see how it come up with the pull request. Yes, this is all going to happen. And here on this part, we need to go to the Devin session and we have a very familiar text box. We have some information. We can switch between deep, agent, ask. We can select the repository we want to work on. So I'm going to select the sarthaksavvy.com. We can attach something or we can tag the repository or a specific file also. Okay, let's start building something. Now, what I want is when the user visit the website, user can see the floating text box with a nice modern design at the bottom. This text box says, ask anything about Sarthak. And here, when the user asks the question goes to the OpenAI GPT 4.1, which actually search for sarthaksavvy.com and the LinkedIn of Sarthak to get answer. The answer should be on the new page, a dedicated page for asking, and the design of this page will be very simple and elegant with a modern look. Now, once I hit enter, then you will see how Devin will approach toward this. But you know what? If you want to have conversation about this feature, you can first go to the ask part and just say like, is this feature feasible and useful? Like, I'm just asking at this time and see what Devin think about this feature. And if it is good, then we will next ask to implement this feature. Okay, so see, within few minutes, we have the information: feature, feasibility and usefulness, implementation requirement, investigation plan. So it's having a plan for the investigation. Now it is doing all those things, reading about the repositories, the knowledge base, the files, and now it's also running the website. But where? If you go on the right side, we can see we have the code section where you will actually see the real VS Code. Yes, the real VS Code is here. I can go on the sidebar to see the Explorer. I can close the file. I can reopen this file. I can make changes on this file if I want, and I have the integrated terminal of VS Code, which you can see right here at this moment. We have it, and not just the VS Code. The Devin has its dedicated browser to see what's happening when you visit the website. Okay, so on this part, we can visit the browser to see what Devin actually did. So this browser is really powerful. You can take control of this, you can make changes, visit any link if you want. But the real power is, if you see on this blue line, I can move and see what actually Devin did when it visited the website on its browser. So first it visited the home page, then the site projects page, and finally the about page. Okay, that's cool. Now, if I see next what it did, it says, I thoroughly explored your code base and confirmed that the floating chatbot feature is 100% feasible and highly valuable. Finding keys is here, and all the relative information, the screenshots, everything is here. Okay, if this is good, now let's ask Devin to implement this feature. And finally, you can see Devin is waiting for our instruction, because at last it's asking, would you like me to proceed with creating a detailed implementation plan and begin development? I'll say, yes, go ahead. Okay, so yep, we are on the agent mode. So now it's going to perform some action. That means it can make changes on our website and do whatever needed to complete this feature. Okay, so what Devin said, perfect, I'll implement the feature chatbot and I'm going to create a widget component, ask page, and integrating the OpenAI. What we need to do, we need to just wait and watch. Yeah, we need to actually watch how amazingly it is going to create the feature. If you go on the code, you can see what changes Devin is doing on the VS Code, and if you want, you can visit the browser to see what happening on the UI part or actually on the website. Okay, so let's wait for this to finish and then we will see how Devin has created this feature. Okay, so it has created something amazing. It has created all the promised thing, but it is stuck on simple error, which we as a human know that is really easy to solve. But for last 15 minutes, it is stuck and trying to solve this issue by eating up all my credits of this Devin AI. So let's first examine what it has actually done. Remember, it created the plan, then it created the plan overview. We can see the detail. So create the route, then implement web scraping, configuring OpenAI, testing, adding this, and see, this is the part where it is sticking actually. Now, optimizing the performance, verification testing, git strategy, and more. Okay, so this seems like really a solid plan. And while walking, so you can see it has actually created the route, created the env.local, but all these things are good. And finally, it created a pull request. I'm going to show you the pull request and you will be amazed to see the detail Devin has added in the pull request. So let's go to the pull request and go to the conversation here. It has all the detail, like we have the summary, we have the review and testing check for human, we have a solid diagram how it actually work, we have a note, we have the problem like missing real OpenAI key needed for the fully functionality. Now we have a screenshot of the implementation we have done, that Devin has done, and finally a comment from Devin integration. And you know what, the Vercel deployment is keep on failing, and it's failing because of very simple thing. It need the OpenAI key, and that's why it's failing. So OpenAI key environment variable is missing. We can simply add it on the Vercel and then it will going to work, but Devin is failing at this point. I'm not saying like failing, but it's keep on trying and not understanding that it just need to say that, hey, go to the Vercel, add the OpenAI key because you have not implemented it. But Devin is keep on trying and trying and trying. So see, it has actually started digging into the code, and finally it come with something like this. I have encountered critical chunk load error on the layout, on the runtime, causing both local issue and Vercel deployment. This is the third attempt I need, and your help is to resolve this persistent runtime issue. At this point, I'm telling you, Devin is not here to take your job, because see what happened. After 3 attempts, it says, I need your help. So if you are a good programmer, if you are having knowledge about programming, this is just a tool which can help you to improve your productivity. Okay, so I'm going to fix these things and come back. Okay, so I have added the key, redeployed it on Vercel. Just by doing that, you can see GitHub is having all check passed, and now we need to inform Devin that, hey, we have added the OpenAI key, now proceed with whatever you were doing. But you know what, this is so powerful that first it has created the PR, then it feel that we need to add more file. Then you can see I have a refresh button keeping here so that I can show you that first it created the PR and then it improved it with adding more information. So if I click on the refresh of this pull request, you will feel that the code is totally changed because it added more things. Okay, let's get back here and tell to the Devin that I have added OpenAI key on Vercel, and you can now continue. But you know what? We have added API key on Vercel, but not inside the Devin. So how we can add a API key? We can just go on this code. We can simply expand it. And since it's just a VS Code, it's like our local development environment, we can right click here. We can create new file, and we can simply say this file is going to be the .env, and I can just copy the actual key, which is this, and paste it. Okay, like this. And this is done. I'm saving it, and now I can simply try to see how this is going to perform. But obviously, this is not the secure way to add it. I'm going to show you how we can securely add this key into the Devin. But let's first tell to the Devin that we have added the OpenAI key on your VS Code also inside .env file. Okay, let's now continue and see what's going to happen when we have this thing. Okay, so send text and image. Okay, so I'm going to allow it whatever it is going to say, and now let's again wait for Devin to complete the task. Now, while Devin is working on this feature, I'm going to show you the parallel Devin feature. What is this? Basically, we have a parallel session. So on the same project, we can have parallel running two different features. So each session is going to have Devin working on it. So we say we have now two Devin. So let's start another session. We will say to the Devin to do something. So I want to update the design of my website about page, and this should be more elegant and modern design, and also make sure to have content rich page. Okay, so this is working. Again, I'm going to select which website I need to work on, which repository, and I don't want to ask right now. I just directly say that, hey, this need to be working. I'm getting this notification that floating ask feature is successfully done. We will going to visit that thing, but since I want to show you the parallel feature, I'm going to start another session and I'm going to ask another task on the same website. So similar to the about me, and I have a side projects page which design is really ugly and I want to improve it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the same prompt which I had for about page and creating new session, and they say like on the side project about website, on my website site project page. I want to update design of my website site project page, and this should be more elegant. Everything is good. Okay, so now I'm going to remove that because I have already tagged the repository, and now I'm going to start another session, and another Devin is working on the feature. Two different Devin working on two different feature. This is how the Devin is improving or highly increasing your productivity. Okay, so while my two Devins are working on two different features, the design update, let's get back to the floating ask text box feature. And Devin said that this is completed. It actually finished. Okay, at this level, I want to emphasize that it is eating really huge credits of my Devin. I'm going to tell you everything about the pricing very soon, and let's now finish this feature and we can actually see what happened. Link to the Devin run. So we can see the session. We can actually go into the browser and see whether Devin really saying it's working or not. So if you go, okay, so it asks like, tell me about the Sarthak side project, and it has given like these three projects are there. That means it's working, and OpenAI is giving the answer. So we can simply go on this. Here is the pull request. We can see this is the deployment. Click on visit. Okay, that's really soon. Wow, this is really incredible. Remember, we have not written any single line of code. The only thing as a human I did is added the OpenAI key. That's it. And it's working. You can see it's really working right here. Oh my God, that's so powerful thing. And this is why I call Devin a productivity booster. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Devin to review the pull request. Hey, can you please review this pull request for any edge cases? Okay, now I'm going to ask the Devin to review its own pull request. But you know what? At this time, Devin is not saying that, hey, this is my pull request, so I am saying like everything is fine. This is AI, so it's going to actually check for the edge cases. Okay, that's great. Now, what about the pull request review? So, pull request review said various things. The security API key exposed, the real open API key is currently in .env, which is not ignored. Okay, that's so great. So we can either manually do it or ask Devin to do it. So I say, okay, fix these issues. Now, while this is fixing, remember I told you I can show you how you can securely add the OpenAI key. So on the setting, you can go, we have the secrets, and here we can simply add like OpenAI key. This is the thing, OpenAI key, and here we are, and it's a raw secret key value pair. So it's a key, and key is this. Oh, not like that. Raw secret. Okay, raw secret is there. We are storing it, and now we can simply use it, or Devin can directly use it whenever needed. So whenever it says like we need the OpenAI key, it say scan the secrets and it start using it. Okay, let's get back to our session, and finally it says everything is fixed. We can actually check, manually check, like on the git ignore we have the .env added. Wow, that's so great. And we can check on the browser if everything is working fine or not, and once everything is good and we are happy with this, we can go and we can actually merge this pull request. So I'm really doing this, and you can see on my website sarthaksavvy.com that this feature is actually available, created by Devin, not me. Okay, let's get back to the other thing. So see, once I merged it, it actually says that it is merged. Wow, that's so cool, so cool. Now I can say done, thanks. Okay, so just for the courtesy. Okay, let's go to the update the about page design, and it says that about page design is updated. I can't see actual updates, but let's see how this is done. Okay, so something like Okay, some like timeline kind of thing is available here. And what about the side project page? So if I go on the side project page, it still says like Versal deployment is failing. So it's failing for some reason and it has not able to fix that. Okay, so that's like how Devin work under the hood and how powerful it is. What are its limitations? Time for the part 3 of this video, which is telling you whether you need Devin or not. What about the pricing and how it is compared to the Cursor or GitHub Copilot? So first of all, do I really need Devin? So as we saw, Devin can have the multiple session running parallelly, working on different things. So if you have small team, but you want to complete something in a record-breaking time, you want 10 different junior developer working on something, yes, Devin is for you. Devin is not for small bug fixes or small feature request. You can do that, but the real power or the full potential of Devin comes when you have a huge critical issue on production. You have a big feature which you want to be ready in record breaking time, but you don't have the team. So here you can run multiple Devin sessions to perform the different feature at the same time. Okay, so you decided that you want to get Devin, but next thing is the pricing. Devin is costly for small team or individual, but Devin has introduced a new starter plan. Let's go and understand it. So if I go here, I go on the Devin AI pricing page, I can see that the team plan is yes still $500 per month. At first glance, $500 per month seems really huge. But remember, with $500 plan, you can run multiple sessions having multiple Devin working on different feature at the same time. So think about if you're running 5 multiple session, that means you need 5 different junior level. And if you really hire 5 junior developer, the humans, then how much salary you need to pay for them against the $500 per month. But that's for the bigger team, but not for the individual. If I just want to have something running, I can use the core plan, which is starting with the $20 and then pay as you go. This is really great to start getting the experience of Devin and how incredible and powerful Devin is, where it is lacking and what it can do. But if you think $500 is going to do everything for the month, no, that's not the case. You get something called ACU. It's called Agent Compute Unit. Now, if you go on my account, if I go on the usage, you will see that I have a session history. Yeah. Now, for the floating ask text box feature, I used 9.87 ACU, the agent compute unit. Now, it doesn't have any sense until you go and see how much you have the ACU available. For the $500, I get approx 240 ACUs. Now, with this, I have already used the 9.5 for one single feature. And this is at this level, I can say that the costing of the agent or the Devin is huge comparing to the other one. But again, it's a trade-off. Like what you get, what you pay is up to you, what you want. Now, next is like you need to control how Devin is working. You need to set guidelines to the Devin that hey, you don't have to like try 5 different times to solve an error. If there is error, just go and stop there, because then I need to take over and solve the problem. In that way, you can actually reduce the number of ACU used on a certain feature. And finally, let's compare the Devin with Cursor and GitHub Copilot. First of all, let's compare the pricing, because we are on the pricing plan of the Devin. At first glance, once again, the initial plan is $20 for Devin, which seems like really costly. $500, mind-blowing. And if you go on the GitHub Copilot, it starts with free, then $10 and $39. And on the Cursor, it's free, $20, $200. Seems like Devin is costly. But let's see the feature. Can Cursor or GitHub Copilot have the parallel feature? No, no parallel session. Can Cursor or GitHub Copilot or any other AI editor can create the pull request, review the pull request, fix the issues on the pull request? I don't think so. Can any of these has the DeepWiki thing, Ask Devin kind of thing, or especially interactive browser and interactive VS Code on your session? I don't think so. And if you feel that feature is not the thing, then real value Devin is providing is worth $500. Exactly. At first, it seems like Devin is costly because it is costly, but the amount of work you need to do on the Devin and amount of work you need to do on Cursor or GitHub Copilot is way different. On the Cursor and GitHub Copilot, you need to keep on having your eye on the code base and what it is doing, but not on the Devin. Devin works on its own. You just finally need to see what Devin is saying. If Devin says like, I need a API key, give the API key. If Devin said, hey, I'm not able to do this, try different thing, try different thing. It's totally on the Devin. And that's why I really love Devin. Now, it's up to you. Tell me your opinion about Devin. Obviously, if you have not yet used it, I highly encourage to try it out. And by seeing this video, if you have changed your mind from Devin, the AI engineer who is going to take your job, to Devin, the AI engineer who is a productivity booster, then let me know in the comment section your views about how it changed your mind, what you still feel about Devin, and what you feel the future will be of the programming. If you need any help on the Devin or any AI thing, let me know in the comment section. Follow me on different social media platforms at Sarthak Sevi. You can visit my website to get all the links, and we will going to meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye.